Hi, Barbara. I'm Swan. I'm a PhD student at Texas A&M, and my qualifying exams are 11 days from now. And um, I feel the same way you do. We share the same insecurities. I think that everyone that goes through this does. Um, but I have some tips for you. Some that I've learned from some of the PhD students here and some from my professors, but they help. I also really um, like that you have tried to you voiced your feelings out online because it's nice to have. I think it will be very beneficial if a blog about this started, so that people like us, because there's so many out there, could have someone to relate to, and we can share tips and strategies, etc. So, some things I have for you. Um, in writing. Um, you have these two 50-page papers to write, and that seems really like quite a daunting task. Um, but I think that if you broke it up into really small pieces, you'd be more effective at accomplishing and finishing that project. So one technique I use is that when I'm writing my proposal or I'm missing this big section that I have to write or to add, insert, whatever, um, I will, the topic I need to insert that I've left out or whatever, um, I'll write a maximum 2-page double-spaced paper or mini essay on the topic. So the first paragraph is the definition. So let's use the example of discourse analysis and or differentiating between discourse analysis and critical discourse because that's what you're having trouble with. So the first thing, write the 2-page mini essay on discourse. First paragraph, the definition. What does it mean? How has it been defined before? Second paragraph, an example of how it's been used. Did those people benefit from it or not? Did it work? Was it effective? And the third paragraph, why people give a shit about discourse analysis. Always think of the big picture. So then, a couple of nice things that you've done. A, you've written something, which in graduate school is sometimes you have writer's block and you just feel like you can't write and you're really overwhelmed. Well, this way, if it's only 2 pages, it's maximum 2 pages, it feels very attainable, so it doesn't feel like this 50-page paper you're writing. Second thing that's great about it is you have a very concisely written and carefully constructed 2-page mini essay that provides a fantastic outline for the beginning of a paper. Also, because you can start adding to that two page mini essay afterwards, and then within a week maybe it's a 5-page mini essay. Once you keep adding and you keep filling it with very specific information and being more specific every single time, it becomes, and then you get subsections in there, etc. So it just helps you write, and it seems attainable, and it gives you structure and an outline. And most importantly, you've written something. So discourse, write that. Critical discourse, do the same thing. Write the definition in the first paragraph, an example of it. If it's a new theory, write how it actually would work, and then write the big picture. Why should we have critical discourse analysis? That way you have big picture of both critical discourse and just plain old discourse analysis. And you can, whenever you get overwhelmed or you're kind of lost and you're like, why am I reading this paper in the first place? You can go back and you can be like, okay, I need to differentiate between these two. And here are my main two outlines that is a very sound structure of what those differences are. Both the definitional construct differences, differences in their use or similarities in their use, and how those two differ as far as the big picture, and what each really contributes or doesn't contribute. So that's my advice for the writing part of it. The second thing, when you're reading something, I always have to have the hard copy. I can't read on a computer. So I highlight, I mark it up, I circle things, I draw arrows and stars, and I, to star things that really are important to my work. Most importantly, what I do when I'm reading is, because I rarely actually ever go back and look at those, I mean, some I do, but not all of them. The most important thing I do when I'm reading that I've found is most beneficial to me is I have a document, a Word document that I am constantly putting my ideas into that I get from papers or themes or a connection that I find. So if I'm reading this paper and I'm like, holy shit, that's the connection I'm missing, or that's a supporting statement that I need, or those are the results that will help my findings or will help define and support my objectives. So, just writing it out as soon as you read it. You have it, and you have it written in your own words where you're not paraphrasing or whatever. Write the ideas down that you generate from it because you just learned something. Also, if my brain is, or most often, or not most often, but commonly, my brain is just too tired. Like I've been reading way too much. And so I will highlight. Sorry, my brain's also not working right now. It's been a long day. If I'm just too tired, I just, in that document, I just quote it, type as the sentence out that really meant a lot to you, or really helped you make a connection, or supporting statements that you found in the document you're reading. Just type it out verbatim, put quotations around it, cite it, and that way, the next day when you come back and you look at your document of the most important notes that you have from that day, you can say, okay, my brain is refreshed now, and it's much easier to understand, and then you can go from there, and you won't forget that, because it's documented. So anyway, maybe that helped. The third thing that I have found is the most helpful thing for me is sleep and eating right. I know it sounds like, we've been hearing that since we were in kindergarten, but it's so necessary. At 10 o'clock at night, it's really hard. If you've been working all day, it's almost impossible to be, unless you're on drugs or something, to be like completely comprehending everything you're reading. So I don't support drug use. I do support sleep, because your body is fantastic, and it will help you in the best ways possible. So set some time for yourself. Say, okay, after 8 o'clock at night, I'm not studying anything. That is my cutoff. Or 6 o'clock. Make it 6 o'clock. Don't study past that time. During the day, that will help you work, because once 6 o'clock hits or 8 o'clock, you're done. You're not reading anything else. That way, you don't lose yourself. You can, it gets back to who you are. So you don't get lost, because we're in this academic world of people that are insanely brilliant and some insanely pompous. But it doesn't, you still are you at the end of the day. And if you just read all the time, then you're going to lose your mind. So don't do that. Sleep. Remember who you are and stay true to yourself. And that'll help you deal with some of the stress, and it's also therapeutic. So I hope that this helps. Maybe this was a pointless blog, but I hope that it's not. I hope that we can, as universal graduate students, can get together and start giving each other hints or helping each other out. So you're going to kick ass. You're going to do fantastic on your qualifying exams. And be confident in everything you've learned at this point. So good luck, Barbara, and I hope this helped you.